Everyone, welcome to the Bay Area Content Marketing Meetup. Today's pseudo theme is Hawaiian shirts. So a few of us have decided to wear Hawaiian shirts. We have with us Shane Shaps. Shane is going to talk about, Shane recently launched a live video show on, I believe on Facebook, and she's going to tell us how easy it is to start your own. Shane, I'll let you introduce yourself. So Thanks for joining us and take it away.
Okay, sounds great. So first things, I don't do costumes. I do them, on Halloween, but I do a coffee chat every Friday with my local Chamber of Commerce. And every Friday they have a theme, and every Friday I show up in my pajamas because normally I get up at 5 and I work out and I shower and I start my day at 8. But on Fridays I don't work out. And so I sleep in and then I wear my pajamas. And so last week was my birthday and everybody wore pajamas. So I don't do themes and I don't have a Hawaiian shirt. And I'm cold. It's not even like fully spring yet. So I'm sitting by my space heater. So I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Shane. I own an agency called 520 East Brands, and we've been in business since 2008, sort of happened into this. We do social media engagement on an outsourced basis. So we work with lots of clients who don't know what they're doing on social, or know it has to be done and don't want to deal with it, or they don't want to hire a full-time person and they can just pay for a part of a person. So we've been doing this for quite a while. We work with small businesses, large businesses, local, national, nonprofits, you name it. And we love what we do. So I have, for all these years, been behind the keyboard. I'm different personas on Twitter. I'm all kinds of brands on ghost blogging and LinkedIn and Facebook. And for a long time, I really never put myself out there. And I found I had a client for a while and I was the client's voice. I ran a tweet chat. I had this whole personality and I had all of these friends that knew me as the client. They didn't know me as me. And a couple of them did. I gave them a couple of people. I was like, hey, this is my real name. This is who I am. And we're real friends. But when that client, they lost their marketing budget, so they lost me. When that client went away, I found myself without all my friends because they only knew me as that name. And it's really hard to go back and be like, hey, remember me? I'm that other person, but here I am. So that was kind of a tough lesson to learn, that I didn't put myself out there. I stayed behind the keyboard. And I decided in 2020, shut down, that I really needed to get myself out there. All my friends were kind of freaking out about taking their work home and having to work from home. And I'm like, I've been working in a room off my kitchen all these years. So let me tell you how it's done. And then I decided I'm gonna do this. So my goal for 2021 was to start a live stream. I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't have any idea how to do it. And I am the first to tell you, as you can see when I'm logging on to Google Meet instead of Zoom, I am not techie at all. I am very much the social part of social media. I have other people I call who fix my iPhone. I don't do that. So live streaming was definitely putting me into that scary place where I'm going to tell everybody who I am and be on live video and produce a show. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with the name Jason Falls. Jason has been social media marketing, forever. And I've known him since the day I started this business, and he is my mentor. And he's got a fantastic live stream all about his book. I'll plug his book for a second, Winfluence, all about influencer marketing. And he has a podcast about it. A podcast and a live stream. So one day, I think in December, he did a 20-minute how-to. And I just took notes. And he's like, here's how stupidly easy this is. This is what you need. This is how you do it. Go. So I'm here to tell you just how easy it is, because I now am, I think this week will be my 12th episode on Monday. Dennis is coming on in a few weeks, and I'm really excited. It's been fun. I try to keep it quick and simple. It's not an hour-long show. We usually wrap it up. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're usually done and off air by 10:20. So it's a quick conversation with someone else in the industry, and I've been having a lot of fun. So it definitely puts me out of my comfort zone because there's some technology involved and I have to do it in the moment. And I didn't do like a PowerPoint. I thought I would just kind of talk to you all if you're interested in doing this and telling you what I did and how I did it. So first I had to come up with a name. So my whole shtick is keeping things real. I really believe, and it's how I started my business, and it's how we still do it today. We create real human personas to represent your brand online. So yeah, we take the branded message and we push that out there and come buy our product, but that's really such a small piece of what we do. A lot of what we do day to day is going into somebody's Instagram and engaging with their customers and liking and commenting on their post and sharing it, and then going on Twitter and participating on tweet chats as their persona. So that's a lot of what I do, and educating my clients that what your customers want is real. They don't care so much these days, thank goodness, about your overly produced, beautiful $20,000 18-minute video. They'd rather see you walking into work and spilling your coffee on your Instagram story, because that's relatable, and they did it too. And so that's where I went with this, is that we're going to talk about how do we keep real voices online. So that's my main goal of my live stream each week. So the name of it is Let's Get Real. It's so new that I don't even have enough subscribers on YouTube yet to give it a channel name. So when I'm done talking, I'll put a link to my YouTube. You can watch some past episodes. You will see that in my second episode, I screwed up so badly that for like 8 minutes, it's a black screen and you can just hear us talking. But it was real. And I've learned. Every week I learned something new. In the past 2 weeks, I'll say, I haven't had any mistakes. You know, those kind of stupid mistakes where I didn't press a button. So it's easy. So what you need a platform, and the one that I'm using is called Switcher. There are several out there. I believe that Switcher only works with iOS. I'm not positive on that, but I think that that's true. There's also one called StreamYard that I know a lot of people use, and there are some other ones out there as well. But I really like Switcher. It's the one that Jason Falls walked me through and told me how to use it. So for now, I'm sticking with it. So what you need your computer, and then you need 2 more devices. So I had to buy an iPad. I didn't have one. So I have, I would turn this around, but everything's like hooked up. I've got some lights here, and then I've got a little tripod. I bought this on Amazon, and it actually, the legs, go long, but I keep it on my desk and I hook my phone into it. So that's always camera 2. Camera 1 is always my computer, except for that one time when I got them mixed up and was talking like this the whole time. And my friend who I was interviewing texted me and said, I'm looking at the side of your face, turn your head. But again, keeping it real. And then there's the iPad. So the iPad is actually the switcher, and it is what serves to produce the show. So I'm going to kind of show you what the screen looks like. Can you guys see that? You can see like a reflection of my light in there. So there's all of these different squares down here. And these squares will actually let you put an overlay. Thank you for watching. You can take that off, and you can put in a lower third with your website, or I can put in the person I'm interviewing. I can also put up 2 people, and I can put up 3 people. 3 is the most I've done. So I'm sure I can do more, but I haven't gone that far. So basically, and the key is headphones. Your sound quality will be terrible if you don't have the headphones. So I got these Power Beats. I don't like AirPods. They don't fit in my ears. So these have a wire behind them, but they're still wireless. I really like them. Recommended by my teenage daughter. So that's any indication. It's a good testimonial. And you can't see them with my hair, which is kind of fun. So you need these 3 screens. You've got your producer. And so what you do is you get everything set, and there's just a button. You press live. Each tab within the tablet will tell you something else. So one of the tabs will tell you where you're sending it. So in my case, I send it to my company Facebook page. So that company Facebook page is 520 East Brands. And so if you have it up to get alerts, then you'll know at what app. It's called Switcher. That's the name of the app. You can download it. So I send mine to facebook.com/520 East Brands. You can set it up to send to multiple places at once, but there's some technology in there that I'm a little afraid of, so I haven't done it yet. But I that is in my plan, to set it up to send it to both Facebook and LinkedIn at the same time. And I think I can also send it to Twitter. There's some RMTP something I have to do. So I need the IT department to come in and figure that one out for me. But it is possible, so that you can be live streaming on multiple platforms at once. But right now I'm just doing it on Facebook. I press live. I always give sort of an intro as to what we're talking about. Then I bring on my guest. We have some banter back and forth. And then I basically close it up by talking about next week's guest. What kind of took me a minute to figure out is just sort of getting myself into a weekly schedule. It's a weekly show. So I have some images that I make in Canva. So I always post that on Thursday with, here's my guest on Monday. Make sure to join me 10 a.m. at this location. And I post that all over the place. Then I have a whole series. I do a blog post Friday morning where I talk about how I know this guest. Tune in on Monday. And then on Sunday, I have a post that I put up on all of my different social and in the stories, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And Twitter, and I put that up everywhere. So I've got an image in the feed, I've got a story. And then Monday morning, I do a really quick 14-second story video where I just say, join me at 10, today's guest is. So that's sort of my formula of how I market it. And then the final thing is after it's done, it will tell you it's finished and there is a file. So I can take that file and upload it to YouTube and then tag it, link back to the website, and then I can post that up on LinkedIn and Twitter and continue to share it. So that's sort of my formula of how I market it. I think the first week I did it, I was so scared that I had my 17-year-old as my guest. She does social media for her high school youth group, so it fit. And she was up in her room and I was down here and I was terrified. But it went so well that I was like, okay, I can do this with a real guest. And so each week I've been bringing on guests. Now, I will say the first 2 weeks, my guests were people I know really well. So if I messed up, they'd forgive me. They're good friends. So that was fine. And now I've been branching out and people I'm meeting on Twitter and people I know through the content marketing world, I'm asking them to come on as guests. I do send them, not necessarily a script, but sort of like a list of topics we're going to talk about so I don't blindside them with any questions, because who likes that? And I'm booking far out. So I'm booked basically through about the first week in June. And every week my guest and I talk about how we keep things real on social. And they've been from all over. So I'll have, I had 1 week, I had someone who's a very small marketing agency like me, but even smaller in South Florida. So she came on and talked about, how she's selling her services and how she's multitasking and doing all of this. And then I had someone, I don't know, are you any of you guys Peloton people? So I'm a Peloton fanatic. And the reason I am is because of my community, not even so much because I love to exercise, I don't, but I'm a big fan of one of the coaches, and that coach has a Facebook group. So I brought the woman who runs the Facebook group on. And what was so great about that is she's not in the social media world. This isn't what she does. She works in banking, but she created an online community. And so we talked about that and how she did it and how she keeps it such a happy, fun, nice place where people love to be. And so that was a really fun one. And I had great numbers on that because everybody from the Facebook group came. I think I had I had a ton of views, more than I've had. So every week I watch those numbers go up a little bit. It's still a very small show. But I find that it's relatively much easier than I thought it would be to pull it off. I still have a lot to learn, but if you're like me and you're like, I'd love to do that, but I have no idea how, all you need is 3 devices. And really you could do it with 2. You really could do it with a switcher and a computer. That's not difficult. I like having the 2 different cameras, but I also have to punch buttons and send my face back and forth and then look the right way. So there's a little bit of that going on. So, but you need the switcher app, then you need the hard drive, you need some good lighting, you need the headphones, and then it's really just about being organized, getting your guest, writing the script, and doing some marketing. Yeah, I haven't tried StreamYard, Julie. I know a lot of people use it, and I've seen Sarah Clay, who I follow on LinkedIn, she uses it and she does a lot of live streaming on LinkedIn, but I haven't tried it. I know that Restream will also do direct live streaming. A lot of people will use Restream to take what they're doing on Switcher and push it to Restream to make it restream to multiple places. I've not yet done that. I did try Restream directly. I found it a little clunkier. And so when Jason told me about Switcher, I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. I find it much easier. now that I know what I'm doing. So, but I did practice a few times before I went live. And now I have a client who's going to do a Facebook group book club. And there's like all these questions and answers we're going to do for like 3 weeks. And at the end of it, there's going to be a Facebook Live. He's a former CEO of a huge company. So part of your value add is buy entrance to the book club. You get the digital download of the book. And in the end, you get a Facebook Live with him. And so I'm going to produce it. I'm going to sit in my kitchen and send him, and he's going to be on, and it's going to go live right into the Facebook group. So pretty cool. So that's kind of it, and how I did it and how you can do it. So what questions can I answer or try to answer?
So on that last point, Shane, is it correct that you've experimented with this new format and you're already able to translate that into new services for clients?
Absolutely. I mean, my first episode was like January 11th. So here I am, March 18th. Now, for that particular client, he's a very good client. And since I'm trying this for him, I'm not charging him, but that is going to be a new service line that I can offer to clients. So like I work with a local retailer who sells doors and windows. We may start doing like a monthly live stream where they're talking about how you clean your windows. And, you know, we've been doing video for them for a long time, and we're feeling like they need something new. So this may be what it is. And it absolutely will be something I'll bill them for.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then on, you said Switcher, right? Is that a paid application? And is there like can you share the ballpark cost?
I can't remember what it was, and there's different levels, but I know that there was a coupon code. So if you go to switcher.com/ it's either Falls or Jason Falls, you'll get 10% off. And I honestly can't remember because I'm 48 now and I don't remember anything. But but the 10% was useful. I'm putting my contact in here.
Excellent.
There you have it. And I'll also send the link of my YouTube. Feel free to subscribe. I am trying to get to that 100, so I can change the name of it. And here's my website.
And was it a one-time purchase or is it a subscription?
It's an annual.
Annual. Okay.
Yeah. And here is my email.
I see Julie has her hand raised, so
yes,
away, Julie.
Hi, Shane.
Hi.
So I just recently started doing a lot of YouTube videos. So I have kind of I have two aspects to my business. I am the biz psychic, as you probably can see by my title there. And so I give readings, and I have somebody that I channel with. And so we do videos on that. The other part of my business is boundary setting benefits your bottom line. And so I've been playing with doing YouTube videos, but so what's the benefit of live streaming versus YouTube videos? I mean, oh my God, I feel like it took me 5 years just to do a YouTube video. Now I'm like, okay, videos, I love videos. Live stream?
Right.
I feel biggest, fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difference is things are going to go wrong because it's a live show. I do think that the social platforms, I can't speak to YouTube, I'm not sure on this, but the social platforms will push live up further. They consider it more important. So that's part of it. And I went live on Facebook because that's where my current audience is, because I've been doing this, you know, for a long time, that they followed me on Facebook back then. And I have a small community that follows my agency, but that's where they are. So eventually I hope to go live at the same time on LinkedIn and potentially YouTube. But for right now, I've just kept it to Facebook. And then I post the published video up on YouTube, and then I share it on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay, I have one more part to my question.
Yeah, sure.
So as I mentioned, I have two aspects to my business, and I feel like everybody and their brother or sister is, you know, doing psychic medium work. I do other stuff, but that's beside the point. And so I'm wondering, just in kind of everybody's opinion, maybe they'll shake their head or something. And obviously yours, as somebody who does this work, might it be more beneficial if I do work, if I do something that speaks to the work that I do in boundary setting, because that's a really big topic right now. And we need more of it, and people need to know how to do it. And it's not a flooded market by any stretch. So
Well,
just
I
maybe
think
your thoughts on that.
absolutely. I mean, I don't think I would do one live stream that covers both. They're such different
Right.
markets, right? So I think if you're going to pick one, I love that idea. It definitely sets you apart. No one else is doing. I talk about it all the time. I've written blog posts about, you need to mark your own calendar that you're busy. No one's going to do that for you. My husband works for a big company, and so people can see his calendar. And I'm like, if it's free, they're going to take it. You don't have lunch off because they will see it. So you got to block it. And I do that. I block my calendar so I can actually get some work done,
Yeah.
So I think
That's a
that's
boundary,
great.
my
I'd watch
friend.
your show. Absolutely. I'd watch your show.
Thank you. Okay, good to know. Anybody else feel like boundaries might be of help? Women are for sure like, okay, thank you all. I appreciate that. I'll be
Andy,
quiet.
that's hysterical that Jeff. I've known him for years. He's awesome. He is.
I know he's
so
down in Louisville,
techy.
so yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He and I actually years ago partnered and put this whole presentation together and presented it to some high schools about basically to scare the bejesus out of their teenagers. Stop posting stuff on social you shouldn't be posting. And we brought a policeman with us who talked about some of the stuff you're doing is illegal, and we really scared the hell out of him. It was great.
Yeah, I have even though I lead content, I have social under my role. I'm in commercial, so the marketing side, and he's on external affairs side, leading or listening, but we work on a lot of projects together. So
that's great. That's great. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? I think that's a good comparison there, Kyle, that live streaming versus video is like watching live theater versus TV. Absolutely. There's something exhilarating about knowing. Just like with the Peloton, I take on demand classes all the time. But if my favorite teacher is teaching a live class, dinner is going to be late. Sorry.
Well, I know you're talking about live streaming, which I have no experience with at the moment, but I was curious about your take on the video editing stuff that's out there. So like Splice, or I don't even know if Camtasia is still.
So my video editing experience is pretty limited to iMovie. I've used iMovie and I've used Adobe Spark, but I'm much more versed in iMovie. Most of that comes from making video montages for my kids' bar and bat mitzvahs. But I do
phone, I would imagine, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, I prefer it on the computer. I think it's much easier to work on the computer. But I do like I was talking about how the Instagram story videos are so great. Sometimes clients are a little hesitant to do it themselves. So I'll go shoot it and then I'll bring it back here and we'll edit it. But I always tell my clients, my videos are meant for stories. They are meant to look homemade. They are meant to look like you in your natural habitat. If you need a video for your website that's going to be evergreen, we need to call in a production company. That's way out of my knowledge base. Oh, thanks, Rich. Great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Drive safe.
Angelina had a question.
Yes.
About 2 cameras. So the benefit is really if you watch my show, you'll see like I do most of it just like this, staring it straight ahead. But when I do the second camera, it just kind of gives you a different look. There's not a lot of reasons for it right now, but it just it makes it more in the moment. It looks a little bit more like a TV show. And I think it's kind of fun to do that, but I am very much like camera 1, camera 2, and that's it. So I actually write my script, and it's more like bullet points because I had a full-on script in the beginning and you could totally see me reading. So now it's like topics, and I put it here on my screen. It's up on the screen so I can look at it. And I have gotten better about knowing what's in that before I go to camera 2. Last week, I think I did it pretty well. But I do write in the script in bright red, camera 1, camera 2, lower third. So I make sure I don't forget to do that or, take it off if I have like one person up and that somebody else's contact information. So I put all of that in red so that I don't miss it. I think the one thing that I've learned to do, which I was terrible at a few episodes ago, is just slow down. Just everyone knows I'm live, and a lot of people watch it later. So I try to take that out of my head that, oh my God, all these people are watching me. I try to just remove that and slow down, look at my notes, and take a deep breath. I get really nervous about 9:58 every week, like palms sweating, really, really nervous. But once we're live, and once I get through the whole welcome to the show, blah, 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 and then I bring the guest on and we start conversing, I settle down and we just have a talk. And then I think the hardest part of the whole thing is that the switcher actually has their face in it. So I'm looking here and they're here, and I'm still working at not looking at them and talking to them because I'm looking at them. But I really just have to remember they're looking at me, I'm looking here, and it's all in my ears. So I recommend it. It's scary, but it's fun. And I really do think anybody can pull this off. I have a client who has, I won't tell you, it's this awful website show and it's been around forever and he's got to go. But anyway, he started in March. I said to him, you have an opportunity. You've been interviewing all these people in the TV studio that are local. You have an opportunity now to interview people all over the world, right from your home. And he said, well, first I have to build a studio. What? This is my studio. I have pictures of my children's shoes from their bar and bat mitzvah and a plant. And behind me is my messy files. So he just finished the studio. He's like, now I'm ready to start. I'm like, that's nice. Pandemic's almost over. Everybody's going back to work. So I think it's an opportunity, and I think really anybody can do it. I think between live video and the audio, social audio, I think that's kind of where we're headed right now for the foreseeable future. People like to talk to people. And I know I do. That's why I'm in social media. And this is just a different way to do it than just typing. So
that actually, I'm just got my hand up and I'm going to talk. So
yeah,
that
that's fine.
to another question, which is, so I hopped on the Clubhouse bandwagon because I could, and I have not done one yet. I've attended one, and I just feel like one more live thing to add. I don't know,
No.
and maybe I need to weigh that out. And so, just any thoughts about that from anybody, I'd love to hear, because Clubhouse is the new thing. If you're Apple, you can't do it yet if you're not iOS. So
I've done a little bit. I have not hosted a room. I've been in rooms and then once in a while go up and talk. I've also been on Twitter Spaces a little bit. I think it's fun. I think it's a new way and a new opportunity. But like you, I've got a lot on my plate right now. So to start another thing. So I don't know, anybody else have any thoughts?
I'm resisting.
I was just going to say it is easy in that you don't need all the accoutrement that
Absolutely
you do for the other stuff, right? And so
yeah,
from that perspective, it is easy, but I don't think nothing gets recorded, right?
I don't think so.
Correct.
And so that's kind of the problem with that. So
yeah. And I have a list of podcasts I like to listen to every day. Now that I'm not in the car that much, I got to get through those. So it's hard to now fit Clubhouse in, but something will pop up once in a while and I'm interested in the topic. So I'll pop in and listen.
I recommend Make Me Smart by the Kai and Molly show. It's good.
Okay.
They have talked
good.
about, I believe, that app. So
Make Me Smart.
Make Me Smart. It's an NPR PQED show.
Got it.
Okay. Well, while we're sharing, I'll give a plug for my client's podcast. It's called How Leaders Lead. It is hosted by David Novak, who's the former CEO of Yum Brands. And it's fantastic. New episode dropped today where he interviews Joey Zwillinger from Allbirds. And he has some big names on there. So it's kind of cool. It's a good podcast. Good, all about leadership and business and purposeful recognition. And I don't know, it's a great podcast. So I recommend it.
Other questions or comments? So Shane, I wondered about your studio. Is you mentioned the lighting, and then you had the tripod. So there must have been some planning to figure out where to put the 3 devices. Did you just
Yeah,
figured it?
so, well,
Yeah.
that actually came about before the live stream. I was on a Zoom
Okay.
meeting probably in like April, and I noticed I was really dark, and someone there was all lit up. And so I messaged her. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? So she sent me links to Amazon, and she's like, here's how you make yourself look better on camera. So here, I can turn this and show you. I've got, it's like all hooked up right now because I'm backing up my computer because if I don't do it. So these lights,
ring light.
it's like that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. And then
Okay.
it's a fun one. I got it on Amazon. You can like change colors and, you know, depending on if it's raining or whatever. And then I also have this little shelf thing so that my computer is elevated. So rather than looking down at it, I'm looking up at it. And then I just have to position my head so you can't see that mess.
And does the switcher support a virtual background?
Oh, you know, I don't know. I really am not a huge fan of the virtual backgrounds because I feel like my hair always looks like it cuts into my face, and I don't know. I think they're weird, so I don't usually use them. I like that, and I have a window right there, so the natural light definitely. And I have a door there, so it's good.
Gotcha.
And I usually have 2 yellow labs that are like moseying around behind me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, last call for questions or comments.
Very helpful. Thank you, Shane.
My pleasure. It was fun to meet all of you. I know I've seen some of you on before. I was here the day that Bernie was on, Bernie and Todd, they were on, and we were talking about tweet chats. So that was fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, I got a last question and I'll have to come visit at some point because I've never been to Louisville. First time visitor to Louisville, what can you not miss before you leave town?
Well, you have to go to the Kentucky Derby Museum. That's what's really in my office. These are all my fascinators. I have them up on the wall from past Derby, if you can see them.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, so definitely the Kentucky Derby Museum. And if you're a baseball fan, you can go see how baseball bats are made at the Louisville Slugger Museum. So that's also recommended.
Excellent.
I have mine right here. My Louisville Museum. Yeah, it says Louisville Slugger on it.
Yeah, that's great.
And the Corvette Museum.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
My sons and I went there right after the collapse, and we got to see like all the cars down in the thing.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. How old are your sons?
Well, now they're older. They're 21 and 19. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, Shane, thanks so much for sharing your
this was fun.
Wisdom. Yeah. And we'll be tuning into your show.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we're going to have you on the live stream in the future.
That's
I can't remember the date, but you're coming. So we'll make sure everybody knows. And
sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, great. Nice to see you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thank you, Shane. That was great. Thanks, everyone.